And I didn't.
Yes.
Hey,
Everybody, welcome to another episode here on the Owwll podcast. I'm joined by my co-host Ellie Santra and our guest today, Matt Beck. He's the CEO and founder of Float 8 Foundation Therapy. Every week we come to you with such amazing individuals that are making impact to this world, and they are available on the Owwll app. We will feature them on our Instagram account at Owwll app, and of course, follow them on the platform and get a notification when they make themselves available. We're the only podcast that I'm aware of that takes our guests, features them, and everyone out there can do one-on-one calls with them, which is pretty darn awesome. So, Ellie, before we kick things off with today's guests, why don't you share with our audience a little bit about what's happening during our happy hour next Tuesday with South Florida Tech Hub, and also the big thing with Tech Tuesdays on the Owwll app, and tell everyone how to get the most value out of Tech Tuesdays so they don't miss out.
Yeah, I feel like this is more your expertise, but essentially what is happening is we're going to be doing next Tuesday a podcast here in the studio at, I believe it's all day, right?
10 o'clock all the way through 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Different tech trailblazers. We're about to announce them later this week.
Yeah,
Will come join us.
So we'll be doing this podcast. So it'll be a great opportunity for anyone that's on the Owwll app to call. It's going to be a call-in show. So you can call in live, get on the air. We're not a radio, but basically similar to that, like being on the radio.
We are a radio. Come on.
I mean,
we're cool.
Owwll Radio.
We got video and audio. Radio's only at
I'll
audio.
have to get my theme song ready for next week.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Excited because you wrote it and we haven't really announced it. Can we announce it on that morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it. Can you make a music video like MTV, like back in the day?
That's a lot. Maybe you could pay me extra.
We could stream it. Why not?
Maybe we'll see.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah. So you can call in, ask any tech questions, really anything to any of these influencers, different people in the industry. And then for anyone that's local in the South Florida area, right after the show, we are going to be doing essentially a happy hour.
Yeah,
right?
Tech Hub always used to do a lot of happy hours down here in South Florida, and their members really wanted to for them to bring it back.
Yeah.
So 5:30, Tap 42, that is the location. Nikki's about to launch the Eventbrite. It is absolutely free to attend as long as you download Owwll app. You can't get in if you don't show Owwll app on your screen. And the purpose is that others after the event can connect with other folks in the tech industry every single Tuesday on the Owwll app, because South Florida Tech Hub is all about innovation.
Yeah.
Right. So if we're always just doing the same old tech happy hours, like those get boring after a while. Like we want to do something a little bit different, and they're partnering with us, which is major news on the Owwll app.
It's just like convenient too, because I feel like you'll be at a networking event and there's so many people you want to talk to, rather than wasting time. Like, let's exchange information, but you can just say, okay, great talking to you. I'll chat with you on the Owwll app later, bye. And that's it. You know that you can always find them on there, and you'll be able to find all their social media, their bio, everything about them. So it just saves you time in the moment. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
It's a great new way to get the creepy men away from you, Ellie. Right? You'd be like, oh, I'd love to talk more one-on-one.
Yeah, you can pay me for my time.
But you don't have to sit at the bar and getting your ear chewed off for 30 minutes. Right now, you nicely could say, I have to go, but follow me on Owwll and we could chat there.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a little bit more of a controlled environment, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into our guest today. So, Matt, he is the founder of Float 8 right here. It's in Delray Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando. And I know that because it's on the back of this card, of course. I did not memorize that, of course. Matt, welcome to the Owwll podcast. Start things off by telling our audience a little bit about your brand.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Float 8. We offer flotation therapy primarily with and some other wellness modalities. Floating, more commonly known. Each float tank has about 10 inches of a 30% Epsom salt solution, which we create by putting about 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt into the filtered water. We have over 300 functions in our body that require magnesium, and most of us are deficient. So just soaking in that solution has a ton of benefit. But the main reason we use it is to help you float effortlessly. So similar to the Dead Sea, we remove the effects of gravity from the body, spine lengthens, body falls in natural alignment, all your tensions can let go. We spend 20 to 30% of our energy just fighting gravity moment to moment. So while you're out of gravity's effects, you're getting that energy back for deeper healing, recover quicker from injuries or workouts, fight off illness, inflammation, disease. There's good science coming out that the immune system gets boosted while you're in there. So that's why it's weird to hear your experience. But you just have more energy to put towards it, so you heal quicker. And then the other goal is to reduce external noise stimulation. You can choose to leave the light and music on, nice meditative music, or you can go the more sensory deprivation route and turn that all off. That lack of stimulation pretty much induces a meditative state, which is great for reducing stress and anxiety, helps with creativity and focus. And it's an environment of homeostasis for the body. So hormones come to balance, blood pressure normalizes, heart rate, breath rate lower, blood flow increases. So flotation therapy is a great way to take care of yourself.
Okay, so I started to play a lot of pickleball,
Yeah.
and recently my knees starting hurting me a little bit. I'm a little nervous, so I've been icing them a little bit. It's never happened to me in my life. I'm 40 years old, so would this be a great thing for me to, of course, start doing and hopefully prevent injuries and get my knee back into shape?
Yeah.
I pushed it a little too hard, playing 2.5 hours, 2 days in a row,
It's
and
tough. You're on the
realizing
hardcore.
I'm not 22 anymore.
Yeah. We have a lot of athletes. There's some of our more, our achievers, we'll say, are, which the athletes kind of fall in that category, that invest in themselves, working out.
Yeah.
Lots of tennis players in Delray, growing number of pickleball players, lots of golfers, CrossFitters. Down in Fort Lauderdale, we have a number of the Inter Miami players that come in and float with us. So for athletic, you'll feel a lot, ease those aches and pains. Also, the focus of it. If you go in there and visualize yourself performing, there's amazing science over you visualize yourself doing things successfully, you're more likely to execute them. So there's that aspect as well.
And how often do you recommend someone doing this? Is it once or twice a week?
Yeah, it really depends on what your goals are. I've been on a good run. The Delray one's right in my neighborhood, so I can walk there. I've been floating pretty much like every other day for the last couple months. But weekly, it's a practice. So the more often you do it, the more you're going to get out of it. Just like going to the gym. If you go once in a while, you can get a workout, but you're not going to become fit. Yoga, just like that. So getting into a practice and the routine for you, if you're playing pickleball a few days a week, a weekly, come in once or twice a week, the day after you're playing, I'm sure you'll find your body recovering quicker.
It's a great marketing way, right?
Yeah.
Go over to the Diadem and hand out cards, put them on everyone's cars, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of folks in their 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s are playing pickleball.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a lot more injuries these days, and a lot of people are sore. So I can see this is a great way to market as the pickleball economy is scaling, right? You could get in there and it's a great niche to market to.
Yeah. We have a referral program. So if you want to send people our way, you can earn free floats. But maybe you don't want to tell them what your secret is when you're out there outperforming everybody too. So Tom Brady had one at his house, and you can't find any video of him talking about it, because competitive athlete, and keeping his secrets. So, yeah.
And what's the temperature?
We maintain, it's a neutral external body temperature. So we keep 94 degrees. The goal is, you turn off the lights, you don't see anything, you turn off the music, you don't hear anything. The temperature is your body temperature. So the idea is it's neutral. Once you kind of adjust to the temp, it's kind of weird. You really can't feel where the water is. It just kind of feels like you're floating in space. So the air, the water, and you or the salt solution technically are all the same temperature.
So for our audience who hasn't been there, obviously they could check out your social media and see what it really looks like. But for the ones listening on audio, this is a podcast, right? Can you just walk us through it? They get in, to your waiting room and they walk into one of these rooms. Like, what is it, like a spa where there's music in the background? Like, kind of explain it a little bit.
Yeah, you walk in. Not really. We don't really go with the spa vibe. We're chill, inspiring. I'm come from the music industry previously and are a big art collection and lots of artist friends. So hip, inspiring art in the space. We usually have some like lo-fi chill music playing in the background. Try to be approachable for everybody from the professional athletes to, the fancy ladies that like to come in and treat themselves. But yep, we have our signature scent, essential oil in the diffusers, the music playing, come in, greeted by one of our amazing float facilitators. They'll give you a very thorough orientation, give you the rundown of how everything works, give you some tips and tricks, show you to the room. Every room has its own private shower. So once we show you how everything works, the room's yours, lock the door. Then you'll shower beforehand. Being clean getting in is an important part of keeping it clean. And then afterwards, you're covered in salt, so you shower again after. But
that's what I was going to ask, as someone who might be like a little bit of a germaphobe. Um, what's the process for, the germ? Like, how do you guys clean it? Like, what's the science behind all
You're a
that?
germaphobe? You went to Burning Man. This is news to
No,
me.
just certain things.
Oh, really?
It's definitely one of the most asked questions we have. So
Yeah.
definitely that level, mentioned similar to the Dead Sea in mineral content. So dead, nothing can survive in the solution.
Mm.
Then it runs through in between each floater. It runs through a filtration system enough to pass all the solution through the filter at least 3 times, meets the strictest of health code standards. We use a combination of UV light and ozone as the primary sanitizers. And aside from that, the only other thing in the solution is about 100 parts per million of hydrogen peroxide, which is a very small amount, and that's just an additional oxidizer. And I could get into the science of
No, it's
there's
okay.
hydroxyl
I believe you.
hydroxyl radicals, and it's a very pure way, much cleaner and healthier than using chlorine or something like
Yeah.
that. And then we obviously clean all the touch points, and between every floater we go in, and there's a 30 minutes between each floater. It gives us plenty of time to get in there and clean everything. So
Nice.
very clean
And tell us
environment.
how you came up with this concept, right? Like, when did it begin, right?
Well,
And where was your mind going? Like, did you see it in a different country and you're like, I got to bring this back to the States?
yeah, I heard on a podcast. Pretty much is where I first heard about it. Joe Rogan was telling people it's the most powerful tool for calming the mind. I formerly was in the music industry, very stressful, fast paced, unhealthy environment, a lot of it, and I just, between that and family and life stuff happening as it does for us, I was dealing with a lot of stresses and not really processing them, and I was just found myself in a very unhealthy level of stress and anxiety. I was struggling to sleep. I was not performing at a level I was proud of, and struggling focusing. And I was trying to meditate, and I didn't really know what meditating was. I was sitting there, I'm like, is this meditating? I don't know. And then I heard, and a growing number of people, Tim Ferriss talking about it, mentioned Rogan, and I Googled it, and there happened to be a float tank in Delray Beach right down the street from where I was living. So I went and tried it. My first float was challenging. I took a stressful phone call on the way to my first float. It was I got approved for something with way under budget and last second for a project I was working on. So I went in there and I was kind of bouncing off the walls, and it was, you know, learned a lot. That I came out feeling very unprepared for that first float. So I downloaded a meditation app and did a
Yeah.
few meditations and kind of learned a little bit more. Went in a second time because I was so determined to find relief. Second time was better. And then enough that I wanted to give it a third try. And that third time is really where I found um, this overwhelming feeling of like, this is how I'm supposed to feel. I forgot what it was like to feel relaxed and not be redlined. I found, in my experience, you get a little stress, a little anxiety, and you kind of get used to it. And then you get a little bit more and you get used to that, and you get a little bit more and more and more. And then you don't realize it, but for me, I was fried and just struggling. And it really showed me the way I could be. So I made it a regular thing. And then they ended up closing. I was a little spa. They just had one tank at the back. It wasn't their primary business, but and then I was driving up to North Palm Beach, was the next closest tank, and that was becoming more difficult to do on a regular basis. And I thought I wanted to own a music venue, and I was kind of waking up between uh, my floats and the other things I was doing to start feeling better. That I didn't really want to get in the business of getting people drunk and the fast-paced late nights, the music industry. And I realized that my community could probably use more flotation therapy options. And I mean, every bar and restaurant's a music venue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how much competition could you ask for? And nobody else is still, there's only a couple other places doing it around South Florida. We're still primarily the main business doing it. So I saw the opportunity. I started doing research. I found that there was a float conference.
And what year was this?
So my first float was October 2013. 2015, end of 2014, early 2015 is when I started thinking about it as a business opportunity. I attended the float conference out in Portland, Oregon for the first time in August of 2015. I've been there every year since. And the organizers at that time of the conference also did apprenticeships at their center. So I signed up they had an apprenticeship right after the conference. So I did like a week between the conference and their apprenticeship, kind of before I had committed to it, to do some research and kind of find out about it. I set some goals and came back meeting and exceeding all the goals I had set, and really inspired. And decided to kind of pivot in that direction. Of course, in the music industry, I was producing a festival. That stuff's like at least a 12-month timeline. I couldn't just stop what I was doing. So there was still, I had to see some things through. But in we produced the last year of my music festival in March of 2016. April of 2016, I found the location of our first float center and kind of shifted at that point.
Is there major competitors out there that have done this and then franchised it? Because I see like stretch zones, right? I see body 20s, right? Once a concept like this starts making sense, before you know it, like a private equity company comes in, backs it up, or someone raises capital, or just one location is very profitable, and then they could franchise it. And you saw this with Forever Young, right? Forever Young was on the Owwll podcast, and but they have 130 locations, but it happened so rapidly. Started with like 3, 4 when they were on our show, I think in 2019, and then before you know it, just like the franchise model helped them.
Yeah, it's been impressive watching them grow.
Yeah, so I see this concept very similar to like a stretch zone, right? Or like them. So is there a big competitor doing this?
Yeah, there's one established franchise out there, and there's 1 or 2 more coming that have started. I think one of the big hurdles is a stretch zone. You need a table and some people where salt proofing and soundproofing and waterproofing the rooms, there's a bit more of an upfront investment in it. We figured out now that I've just built my 3rd, and I feel like we're really at what I would do anywhere at this point. Really proud. We made a big jump from 1 to 2, and then we probably went from 70% of what it was to 90%, and now we're at like 98% of what I would do at every location. So we're looking for ways to scale, and I think there is opportunity there, but it is, again, a big upfront cost to buy the machines and do the proper build out.
And what is your niche market? Right, I see the pricing here, right? It says $80 for a 60-minute float, right? And then you have different packages like 4 floats for $200, right? It doesn't seem like your typical 21-year-old, right, graduating college, like this is the market. They're not as sore as often. They don't care.
Yeah,
they go drinking all night long, wake up, and their hangover is gone in an hour. Where people like you and I, right?
Yeah,
we have kids, and then all of a sudden, like, we can't do that. Like, we're sore, like our head hurts.
Yeah,
but we can afford these prices, right? And then people in their 60s, 70s, of course, they have a lot of money, right? They work their whole lives, they put a lot of retirement accounts, and they save up, and they can afford these things, and they really care more about their body. So have you found like a target market that really works?
Yeah, again, the 2 big customers we're going after, not going after, but looking to support, that we find that get the most out of floating, is our achievers I mentioned before, and that's our entrepreneurs, business owners, lawyers, doctors, athletes, people who are investing themselves in a lot of way and really want to perform at their best. They're highly invested in what they're doing. So peak performance, biohackers, stuff like that. And then the other people we're really trying to help are the medically challenged people with chronic pain, sleep disorders, anxiety disorders, that are trying to either avoid or wean themselves off of medications, avoid surgery, and stuff like that. So it's kind of the balance of feeling better and then performing at your best. Kind of the 2. I mean, it's good for everybody, but you can't market it. If you market to everybody, you don't market to anybody. So
of course,
you
want to have the right margins.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, you could say, okay, we could drop the price and try to hit every target possible, like floats at $30, right? But then, there's not a margin likely, and then the cost of the equipment, the wear and tear. So completely understand where you're coming from. Ellie, you're big into this space, right? I see you going to Delray often, right?
Yeah.
Well, our past guest always does that event in Delray in the market, what's it called?
Cocoa Market.
Cocoa Market.
Yeah.
And you do a lot with meditation. So what are your thoughts about
So, well, first, I just wanted to ask you, how many tanks do you have per location? Because
each of our locations has 4 float tanks.
Okay.
So enough for a small group to come in and all have their own, room. In Delray, we have 2. Fort Lauderdale has 1, and one of our Orlando locations has 1 tank that is large enough for tandem floats. So you can have 2 people in there as well. So whether it's it's tandem floats, it's definitely not always couples. We've had mothers and children, we've had twin sisters, which I think is pretty cool. It's like going back into the womb together. That float together.
What's that movie with
like Cocoon?
that's what I hear. Vanilla Sky, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
And they could see the future.
Yeah,
like that.
So no, I've done it. So I'm intrigued because I've done it before. This was like back in 2016. It was at, I don't know if you've heard of the lodge at Woodlock at all. It's in Pennsylvania. So it's like basically like a whole spa retreat center. And they, they do cooking classes, workout classes, massage, like all the treatments. And they had one there, and I'd never heard of it because this was, yeah, back in 2016. And right when I was really, really like just getting into meditation, like super into it, I was doing like 20 minutes twice a day, every day. And I tried it, and I guess, like, for someone that was meditating so much, I was like, this doesn't really feel like I wasn't that into, like, it just didn't feel necessary. I was like, I don't need this. Like, I didn't feel like my body was really that great afterwards. But who knows, like, what was in their pool? I feel like every center is different, so you just never know. Like, and they only had one tank. It wasn't like they specialized in it. It was just like a spa that had one. So I would definitely, and then I got the flu afterwards, I was telling you. So maybe I was just off the whole day, like literally 24 hours later. So um I would definitely want to try it again. I think there's a lot of potential even for like making even more customized experiences, like not just, meditation, but if people kind of have like their favorite music and they want to, like, I don't know if you guys do that already, but like it doesn't have to be soothing, but just like a theme or like affirmations or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All of our tanks also, we'll play some. We've got a choice, a selection of different meditative tracks, but you can also plug in your own phone and listen
Okay.
to anything you'd like. If you want to listen to
Nice.
something that you bring in, or you're
Yeah.
a musician, you want to listen to you have ear fatigue in the studio, you want to
Yeah.
listen to your
Yeah.
undistracted recordings you're working on, might be a great place to do
That's
that. I have an
awesome.
idea of like, I've always kind of in the back of my mind, like a record, listening party for a new release or something like that. But
That's cool. Yeah.
yeah, the first time I did yoga, I got the worst flu I've ever had, like the day after, and I
Oh.
didn't do yoga for a long time after that. I'm like, it was definitely the yoga, and now I do yoga all the time, and I love
Yeah,
it.
that's why
It's
I'm like,
definitely
I
not.
think I'm willing to I'm ready to try it again. My friend actually had heard of you guys, and he has like a free voucher, and we've been talking about going, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm having like the founder on the podcast today." So I think him and I will definitely like come and try it, and he teaches yoga as well, so like we're both into that stuff. But I
Yeah,
mean, the benefits, I always take baths with, Epsom salt, so I feel like
yeah,
the benefits would probably be great.
yeah. A couple cups in your people are like, well, I do that at home. What's the difference? And you put a
Yeah.
couple cups in your bathtub, and it feels great. But like,
Yeah.
we're talking like 1,000 pounds goes in the tank. And
Yeah.
that you bring up a good point as well that I kind of circle back to is I said like my third float, we do find like the first time you go to the gym, you
Mhm.
kind of just learn your way around.
Yes.
You got to learn how they want you to treat the equipment and clean and where the locker room is. You're not getting your crushing workout the first time you walk through a
Yes.
gym or a new yoga studio or something. We do an intro 3-pack. We do buy 2, get 1 free. So
Mm.
we really, the what we have found is that the people who float like 3 times within 30 days really realize the potential
Mhm.
of the
That makes
experience.
sense. Yeah.
Because the first time I try to guard expectations because the first time you don't know, you think you might freak out or what's it going to be like? Is it going to be this? We have a lot of people come out from their first float saying, I can't wait for my next one because now I know. Now I know
Yeah.
I'm not going to freak out. Now I know the process. There's different places you can put your arms that affect how you float and your comfort. So,
It's also just walking to the front doors.
Yeah.
People are nervous to walk into a spa. People are nervous to walk into a gym.
That's
Like,
why
you're
I don't
all
like
by
the
your
spa
you're
vibe
all
because
by
I'm not a
yourself.
spa guy.
Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to the gym for the first time, right? Like my first time at Gravity Oxygen Fitness, right? I was joining a group. I'm like, to open the door and like just ask the pricing and be like, okay, I want to become a member, right? So there is this like fear of just like that first time doing something that you've never done before, unless you do it with someone, of course. Sometimes that's cooler
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like when you're with a group and you're like, hey, it's team day. We're all going to Float 8, right? And how cool is that as a team experience where like you have energy, you're walking through the front doors, or you're just with a group of friends, of course, right? Then
Mhm.
it's a little easier because that fear is gone.
Yeah. We have a lot of people that come in with a friend or a group for the first time. But I also talk to people who are like, oh, I've been trying to get I really want to do it, but my friend just won't do it. I'm like, well,
It's like you could just
you
do
can just come do it.
it.
Like, we're going to take care of you. It's going to be good. So, if you're feeling like you want to do it, and I encourage people to stop by, like, without an appointment, just stop by. We may or may not have a tank available at the moment to show you, but we can definitely show you around in the space and make it a little less intimidating. If you're driving by one of our locations, just stop by and stick your head in and say hi. We've got a library in each place. We got a bookshelf full of all kinds of really cool books. Lots of our floaters have donated books. I've been collecting books my whole life. So you can just hang out on our couch. I don't even care if you float.
Let's look
if
at
you
it.
want
Let's
to
look at
see the
it. So
space.
everyone listening, we're going to put it up on the television right now. So let's add it right here to the television. And for everybody watching, just go to our Instagram account at Owwll, and right here, Matt is featured, the last post. And of course,
We took it from your
just go ahead and
we liked it.
click. Oop, I don't think did we tag? I think we tagged you. Oop,
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
is it?
It should be. Oh, that's his personal one. Yeah.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
You can click from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here it is. So we're going to look at someone floating. You guys could see there's a big tank. Let's play a video. Oh, that's pretty cool. Good video, by the way, Matt.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. No one's getting the audio, but everyone gets an idea.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, beautiful tank. You get to relax. And there's the vibe from the outside in.
Oh, cool. You can see.
Yeah. That's our Fort Lauderdale location. Walking down the hallway, you can see some of our featured artists.
Yeah.
That's one of our cabins.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. So it's like when you're on a boat. Get in. Nice.
The cabin's 7.5 foot ceiling, 8.5 feet long. Our regular cabin's 4 feet wide. The extra large cabin's 6 feet wide. It's like a big walk-in closet. People are like, oh, another big question along with the sanitation is claustrophobia.
Yeah.
You're in total control. You get in and out whenever you want. You can open the door, leave it open.
And there she is. She's floating. Well, that is awesome. So everybody listening, if you have questions, you want to connect with them, you want to collaborate with them, of course, call them on Owwll 101, right? Ask them anything on your mind when it comes to floating. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's time to call some people on Owwll. Bring them into the show. What do you think, Ellie?
Yeah.
It's time.
People would want to know more about this process for sure.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to refresh the home screen of the Owwll app right here. And before we do that, I'm going to give everybody out there in the audience a quick tip. What I do every week is I head over to the new Owwll category. New Owwls will only show 10 here. I'll hit view more. And then I'll go ahead and hit the filter button right here. I'll put calls taken low to high. These are people who have joined Owwll in the last 30 days. The little new symbol next to their name, but it will show, if you're following them or not. So you can see I follow all these people. So when you don't follow them, it looks like this. It's grayed out, right? So all you have to do is go in here, follow Matt, and pretty much what that means is next time Matt makes himself available, you'll get a notification and you'll get that first opportunity to give him a ring on the Owwll app. So if we find Matt here, where are you, Matt? Should be somewhere. There you are.
Oh, and you
there he is.
Calls. Good job.
He took 2 calls. But we could see here, like followers, there's only 4 people that have that chance to really get in touch with Matt quickly. And they're right here. Avron, Brian, Trisha, and me, right? Because we're the only ones following him. And those are the people that will get a nice notification alert when he makes them available, when he sets that little timer in the app. So they have the first chance to call him at $1, and all new experts have to get to 10 calls before they could alter their price. So you get that chance to call him at $1. Where do you get a chance to call business owners, that we have on the Owwll podcast week in and week out for $1, right? It's pretty darn cool. And everyone out there is trying to form relationships for their business and collaborate, because that's how businesses scale, right? Of course, word of mouth, but really connecting and forming awesome relationships. And Matt was on the app, and we could see right here, there you go, Avram, right? He gave him a ring, right? But he had that chance because he got that notification. And then 16 hours ago, Jimmy, which is awesome. That's our guest from last week.
Yeah. a big fan of his, local
That's
celebrity
awesome.
chef, and I never got a chance to chat with him, so I saw him go live, and then I listened to his podcast
Sure.
and you guys challenged him to go live yesterday. So
You got it.
he was live. I'll vouch for him. I don't know if it was the
There's
full
Jimmy.
3 hours that he
Yeah, I
promised, but
see.
he
That's
took at
awesome.
least
Oh, he
one
did. He
phone
got 4
call.
calls.
Yeah.
Look, he did it.
And one of my friends too was watching, and she was like, "Oh, his food is amazing! Like the restaurant. I don't know. I'm sure you've been
Oh yeah, I've
to
been
this
there.
restaurant."
Big
And she was like,
foodie.
"It's incredible." So
Yeah.
I can't wait to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little off the beaten path. It's just chill. It's a great
Yeah.
restaurant. It's one of my favorite.
Nice.
Okay. Well,
And
let's
we know who each other are, but we had never really chat. So it
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
really good opportunity. It was a good 10 minutes on the phone. I was at the dog park with my dogs throwing the
Nice.
ball, and I got notified he went live,
Oh,
and
nice.
like, you know what? I'm gonna, try. And I wanted
That's
to make,
how it works.
I
Like,
got a call, and then I made a call. So I
nice.
wanted to try it out before coming in. And
Oh, look, and we have an
this
artist. Which
person's new. So have you spoken to her?
no,
I have not.
I didn't even know. Yeah, I was like, "Who's this?"
Okay, let's give her a ring. This is her background. Let's see.
She's an artist, and you like artists, and you maybe
Yeah,
who
for
knows?
sure.
Maybe you talk to her, you see her art, you buy one, and you put it in the next float location. You never
Yeah.
know.
And actually, the big franchise I was mentioning started in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I bet she's heard of flotation therapy.
Let's
That
give it.
makes sense. Arizona's a very wellnessy place.
Let's bring her into the show. So everyone listening, there she is. Hello, Danny.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, this is Jason Hill, the founder of Owwll. How's everything going?
Hi, Jason. Everything's going good. How about you?
Going good. So before I start asking you some questions, are you okay being recorded? We are live on the Owwll podcast right now with Matt Beck. He's the owner of Float 8. It's a wellness lounge, and just want to get your okay if you're cool with getting brought into the show. We do a call-in show on the Owwll podcast.
Absolutely. No problem.
And of course, you could watch this live. We're over on my LinkedIn account, Jason R. Hill. And of course, on social medias at Owwll App. So just click any of those feeds, YouTube as well. And you could see your image is up on the big TV, a big 86-inch TV here. So after this, you could get a recording of it as well. So
awesome. Thank you.
So we were just checking out your profile, but real quickly, we're gonna have Matt tell you a little bit about Float 8. And
Flotate. It's like meditate.
I've been saying it wrong.
Yeah.
Since the beginning.
I was too, and then I was like, "That's clever."
Yeah, like rotation.
Yeah,
I was
flotate,
wondering if
like
flotate was a
flotation
word.
advice. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
Clickable moment. Just clickable moment. It
Anyway.
just hit me. I read Float and then 8, and then I didn't even notice. Well, Matt, tell Danny a little bit about your brand, and then Danny, if it's cool, ask him a question or two.
Hey, Danny, Matt here. Are you familiar with flotation therapy, float tanks?
Just a tiny bit. I'd love to hear what you do.
I was going to say, I see Scottsdale, Arizona on your profile. So I know there's a couple float tanks near you. If you ever want to try check it out, you can just put it in the old search machine. But each float tank has 10 inches of a 30% Epsom salt solution. So you get all the benefits of that magnesium, and it helps you float effortlessly, getting you out of gravity. And then the other goal is to reduce external stimulation, which helps induce a meditative state. And I see you're a professional artist, and you probably like to get creative. We find a lot of our artist floaters really come out inspired and maybe come to us when they're having, writer's block or looking for inspiration. And our locations, to tell you a little bit about Flotate, we really feature and lean into local art and local regional art. Have great relationships with a lot of artists, and we do shows and rotate through different art a few times a year. So yeah, I don't know. Do you have any questions?
It does sound really, really cool, and I can definitely see where just having the isolation from sounds and noise of the world would definitely like get you more into that creative state. Tell me some more of the benefits. Kind of like elaborate a little bit more with you mentioned the minerals or the Epsom salt or whatever. So tell me some more of the benefits of that side of it.
Yeah, well, the magnesium, we have over 300 functions that require, and most of us are deficient. So a lot of that's enzymatic functions of the body. But the 6 real core benefits that we focus on are reducing stress and anxiety, relieving chronic pain, aches and pains, improving sleep, increasing focus and creativity, aiding athletic performance and recovery, and deepening meditation. Are any of those things benefits that you think you could enjoy?
Oh, for sure. How many so when someone uses the tank, do they notice changes and, improvements right away, or is it something where it takes multiple visits? What kind of feedback do you get?
Yeah, we definitely have people that come out from their first float like, wow, that was amazing. I feel great. My first float was a little more challenging. I was telling the story a little bit earlier, but it's a practice. It's like doing yoga or going to the gym. You're gonna get more out of it the more regular you do it. But we do have people that just come in once in a while, just to get away, a break, or as a creative, maybe you're just like at a spot where you just need to step away from the art you're creating in that moment and you can kind of reset. I know I work with musicians a lot, and then you get ear fatigue in the studio, and it's just like you got to walk away and get out of the studio at a certain point. And that we work with a lot of have a lot of the musicians come in, and it just kind of gives them kind of a reset on their sensories. So and to think about it, we have a lot of copywriters and advertisers, marketers that come in just for creative inspiration, think about things they're working on. But
Tell us a little bit about what you do, Danny. I mean, I know you're an artist, but like what kind of art? Yeah, we'd love to hear.
Well, thank you. I am a painter. I work mostly in oils, but I also work in some acrylics. Right now, I'm working on kind of a surreal type collection where I'm combining different things, and I like to juxtapose different ideas. So I like history a lot. So right now I did a horse, and out of the horse, like a Western town is actually part of the horse's body, and it's kind of growing from his body. So I feel like you're kind of seeing the world through the horse's eyes. And I just like comparing a lot of different things and looking at the world differently. So having a lot of fun with my art right now. And I've done a lot of abstract work and stuff like that as well. So
Nice. That sounds really interesting. Do you put your pieces like on your Instagram and stuff for people to see, or where can I find those?
I am on social media. You can find me under Danny Abbott or Danny Abbott Fine Art. I'm on all the major, all the basic go-to platforms. And then I also have a website, DannyAbbottFineArt.com. So people can see my work on there as well.
Awesome. And is
We
this
have it up on the TV. Look at
Yeah,
this.
so we're putting it
We see the horse. Look at
Oh my
that. That
god.
is amazing.
That's really cool. I love it. Have you
Oh,
been doing
thank
art
you.
your whole life, or is this like what tell
I
us
as an amateur, as a kid, I knew I wanted to be an artist, but then I took the really, like the long road. Wife, mom, kids, homeschooled my kids. I kept putting art like on the back burner.
Yes.
And yeah, and then I finally got to a chapter where I was like, this is the chapter that's going to be about me. So I went
Yay.
professionally. 2018 was when I actually stepped in the ring, and then we had, COVID and things came along. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I like
it's
those
been a
too. I
journey.
love your art. It's amazing. I'm a
Thank you.
musician, but I can't do art at all. So I'm always like
Oh,
amazed, like, wow.
what do you play?
I sing and play piano. So I write
Oh,
music. I write
nice.
all types of pop to meditation music. I'm about to uh, write the Owwll theme song for our podcast. So
Oh, I can't wait to hear what you make up. That's gonna be great.
yes. So yeah, I haven't seen you on the app before, so we're happy to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm brand new to the app. I'm kind of excited about this potential. I think this app is really creative, really refreshing, since most people we don't connect on a more real level anymore. Everything seems very
Yes.
superficial.
Yeah.
And hearing someone's voice, and having a live conversation with somebody it's just the next level. So I'm very excited to see what this app does and all the great people that I'll get to meet along the way.
Yay. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the Owwll podcast, even though you didn't know it.
We surprise people.
Thanks for
We
Yeah.
surprise them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
Thanks,
awesome.
Jason. Thanks for keeping me on my toes.
Absolutely. I'll give you a ring one of these days, and we'll have a one-on-one, of course. Okay.
Sounds fantastic.
Later.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
bye.
Bye.
Okay.
She's already taken like
That's pretty
7
awesome.
calls and she's brand new. It's cool.
Okay. We'll put great call. And like that, we did an Owwll call. Okay. Should we give one more person a call?
I guess so. See if we have anyone local.
Yeah, let's
What
get
about
someone from
Lynn?
Delray.
Does Lynn
Lynn.
live in Delray?
Yeah. Lynn is in Pompano Beach.
Oh, this would be good too because she does like end of life, like
And
cremation.
here,
Like I
before
feel
we
like
call her, right here, she's a best-selling author, speaker, vocalist, performer, health advocate. Okay.
End of life pre-planning
And look at
cremation.
that. She was in the podcast studio.
I feel like that would be good for people to float like as like a grief sort of therapy.
It's a big part
Grief
of why I
therapy.
started floating.
So yeah, maybe she'll try it and then she can join the referral program. You never know if she answers. Hopefully she does. She's live, so
Okay. We are giving Lynn a call, and there she is. Hey, Lynn, it's Jason Hill. How's everything going?
Hello.
Hey, Lynn, it's
Good
Jason
morning.
Hill. You're live on the Owwll podcast. Are you cool with being recorded?
Oh, hi, Jason. Nice to hear from you.
Likewise. You were in this seat just a couple weeks ago. We have Matt Beck here in the studio. He is the owner of, now I'm going to say it wrong,
floatate.
Floatate.
It's Ellie here too. Hi.
Ellie's here too. Lynn, how's it going?
Oh,
And we wanted to call
nice
someone
to meet
local
you.
that could try his services. So welcome to the Owwll podcast. How's it going?
It's going great so far. I'm hearing from such wonderful people from all ends of the spectrum. It's just such a great app. I really am enjoying it very much. So helpful.
Okay. So have you ever been in a float tank? Is that the way to say it, I guess?
Yeah, float tank.
Yes, I love those float tanks. I
look at
actually have been in one several times near close to where I live in Pompano Beach. And unfortunately, the one I was going to had closed down, but I think the benefits of that are amazing. Where's this one at?
Yeah, that was our location in Deerfield Beach. That was our first location. It
Oh.
said thank you, Deerfield
no.
Beach, there, because
I was hoping it was someone else.
our first location, 2 weeks after having the grand opening party of our new Delray Beach location, we closed our first. But in Pompano, the closest one would be with Fort Lauderdale. We have one on Northeast 13th Street, so just north of Sunrise, between Andrews and Federal.
Oh, good to know that. Okay, because I know I have a couple of I had bought like a little package, so I think I have a few more left. So I will venture down there. That's awesome to know.
Yeah, come use them. And if they're expiring or anything, give us a call. We're happy to extend them for you.
Where are you
Oh.
based in Pompano or where are you based? I can't remember.
Yes, I'm based in Pompano.
Okay, cool. Or if you happen to be in Delray,
Yeah,
you
or-
come here a lot.
Delray's
They
close.
have a location here too. So
Oh, for sure. I would love that. I
And
would
Matt's
love
there.
that.
Matt's more often at the Delray location.
Yeah, the health benefits of those float tanks are incredible.
Did
I mean,
you?
just feel like go ahead.
Oh no, I was just wondering if did you experience benefits right away, on your first try, or did you have to go a couple times to notice effects from it?
No, I kind of felt it the first time. I mean, it definitely, for one thing, it really just relaxes your whole body from head to toe.
Yeah.
That's so healing, and it's, for me, it's kind of deeply meditative as well. I meditate on a daily basis, but in doing that, it just goes hand in hand with the whole session that you're in there, and you're just like in another world, floating. That's what it is. You let go of all your worries and concerns, and turn off your mind when you're in there.
I'm in there right after the show.
I know. I'm like, I'm
Married,
cold. I'm cold
2
in
kids,
here.
2 podcasts,
I'm ready.
a mobile app.
What are the
That has got
chances
the
that
more
she's
ups and
already a
downs
member?
than anything. I'm a financial advisor. I have a lot of clients that call me in panic mode also in the market. So I need one of these in my
Yeah.
front office of this owl nest over here.
Lynn, tell us a little bit more about what you do in terms of the just your career, grief stuff, all of that.
Oh, yeah. So, for 17 years now, I can't believe how long I'm in this, but I am a licensed arrangement advisor for families. I have the sensitive conversation with them to assist their loved ones in pre-planning for future cremation arrangements. And sometimes, it's a really hard discussion to have with your family. So, that's what I've been doing to help families. And I actually created a guide, a workbook guide, during the pandemic. I took all that time to create this workbook, pre-planning book guide, called You're Good to Go.
Aw, that's cute.
Yeah, the name of that's kind of funny because I was helping some clients and we finished the paperwork and it just rolled out of my mouth. I was like, you guys, I said, okay, you guys, you're good to go. Not meaning that, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, it was funny. And
That's
we all
Good to go to
giggled around the
heaven now.
table.
yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, that's such a great book name. So that's what I did. But yeah, anyway, it's on my little app there. You know, my name. I even posted the name. You're Good to Go. It's on Amazon. But yeah,
Oh.
that's the good part of all of that, to help people.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I help the whole state of Florida.
Well, now you can refer them to the floatate too, because he has a referral program. If you love it so much, I feel like it's like, and also to de-stress from this moment, you can go to floatate.
Yeah,
Here's a
that's
free
good
session
one, for
afterwards.
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You have any questions for
Yes,
me as
yes.
the owner of Floatate? You've come in a few times. It's great. You could have made a better call here because I've been
Yeah.
saying how good it is. So it's good to get an outside perspective to chime in.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would be happy to anyone I speak to recommend your services. It's wonderful. It's just for mind, body, spirit. It's so it's what we all need it. Like everyone's stressed out in this world today. We all need to go to the float tank.
Yeah,
We all need to experience a session and many more, not just one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Lynn, thank you for joining us on the Owwll podcast. We'll be in touch a little later after the show. If you want to catch your clip, just head over to @Owwll app on YouTube. And of course, you could just record that little segment and then you have your own clip where you put you up on the television during the episode. Okay.
Oh, that's great, Jason. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Take care. Have a
Yeah,
great day.
thanks for you too.
bye, Lynn.
Thank you. Take care. All right. Bye all.
That was awesome. See that?
Yeah, wow, she's already goes.
She's a customer, but not a missing customer, right? She has some certificates. She hasn't used them, and we want to get her in because as a business owner, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see someone that has them and then doesn't know where the other locations are. She's so busy, and then she just forgets. But someone like that, you get right back in, and then she becomes a regular customer again.
Yeah, we're working hard to re-engage those Deerfield floaters because I let them know that they do have other options. Yeah, it was emotional let go of the first location, but I didn't know what I was doing when I built that location, so it just wasn't really up to brand standard anymore. We were approaching the end of our lease. There was some external things that were making it a little bit more difficult to operate at the level of service that we wanted to. So we just decided, in growing businesses, scaling business, sometimes you got to prune the hedge a bit to put the energy towards the healthier branches.
So you said you have Delray and Fort Lauderdale, right? So
Yeah.
those are. Do you have a third? You don't have a third one?
You have a third and a fourth.
Oh.
We built Deerfield, Fort Lauderdale. Deerfield opened 2017. Fort Lauderdale opened October 2020, which was really exciting. Managing construction project in the middle of COVID. Then Delray, we started floating people last October. Our grand opening party was this past February. I acquired 2 existing locations up in Orlando.
Oh, Orlando.
Okay. In Orlando in June of 2022. One of them was open before my first location. And when I started thinking about getting in the business, I was driving by them on the way to a lot. I was traveling a lot with the band and to the music festival I was producing up in North Florida. So we'd pass by a lot. So me and the yoga program director for my festival were riding up together and like, hey, you want to stop and float? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So I became friends with the owner of that location. They helped mentor me a bit through the health department and pick out my equipment and early on. And so they lost momentum during COVID. They're a little bit older. They were looking to relocate. They now live up in Virginia. And they reached out and said, hey, we're looking to move on and you'd be our first choice to take over our locations. So we work that out. And they actually had 3. We decided not to move forward with one of them and kept 2 of them. And so, yeah, we've been operating those for just 2 years now.
Nice.
And I put it up on the television so everyone could see it right here. There are all the locations. Here's the website, of course. You can see all these amazing reviews from all the different locations. So, of course, go check it out. See the benefits for yourself. Everything is on social media, of course. And now let's get into Ellie's favorite part of the show. Now, Matt knows already because he watched last week's episode what we do here at the end. most of our guests never watch an episode, so they don't know what's to come. We don't tell people.
But we don't know if we watched the full episode.
Yeah, you got to make it to the end.
Yeah, you have to make it to the
That is
end.
true. A lot of people watch like 7-8 minutes of a
Yeah.
podcast, and then they're like, next.
I'm not much of a gambler, but here we go.
He knows. He knows.
Okay, yeah. So you want to think of it this time?
Okay, so this doesn't shut off. We'll leave this on here.
Well, actually, I have an idea.
Go
It just
for it.
came to me. Okay. I think that I want it to be something where like someone on like a contest almost where someone on Owl can win a free float. Like maybe it has to do with tech. Like we
Oh,
can tie
Tech
it to Tech Tuesday next
Tuesdays.
week.
We can make an
'Cause
announcement.
a lot of
the
times at
event.
networking events they give out like raffles and stuff like that. So maybe it could be a raffle at the event and like we promote you, or maybe it could just be something like with everyone that I don't know. I don't know
And he's
exactly
gonna
what it is
kind of
yet.
want to lose in a way.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm happy.
It has
Anybody
to be
listening out there, if you have a charity or an event going on, we're always happy to
Well,
support.
how about like if you win,
Yeah,
then
then we can let him
then you like
something away.
participate in the event. Or
There'll be a lot of people there.
I don't know exactly what, but just some sort of raffle, some sort of contest where then all these people bring brand awareness to you essentially, and giving away one free float probably isn't going to hurt business that much.
No, happy to do it.
So yeah, I think we should do that. If you, I would say you've already taken calls on the app. So is there something else we want him to do? I'm just putting the pressure on you. Maybe it's getting downloads. So maybe it's having
he has a lot of staff.
getting like your staff, maybe like 5 downloads in the next week.
Yes,
for Owwll. And you'll have
that
a
is the
referral
deal.
code and
You have a referral code inside the app. Everybody does. So once you go into the app like this, you go Owwll. Here's mine. Mine's Hoot Hoot. Go to the home screen right there. You hit the menu, you hit copy, text it to people right when they sign up. It says, where you referred to us. You have the referral code. You get $10. They get $10. So they're winners. You're winners. By the time you're done here, you're gonna get an extra $50 spent on the Owwll app to make other calls. So I think that's a good bet.
yeah.
He's around a lot of his staff, and he could just say, hey, you have to, do me a favor here, download Owwll, but also because you mean it, you like it, right? It's a great thing for people to connect with other
Well,
professionals.
and they could even promote Floatate on the app, like just to more people. You make the staff get in there and make
Tech
some
Tuesdays is
calls
next
and-
week. Oh, I know what we could do. Yeah, he's got to refer the 5 people, but he's got to actually get them to actually call some people on Tech Tuesdays, because there's going to be all these people in our studio that day, and they're taking calls, and they're all in South Florida.
how about
So
that?
this is actually a home run for you, because you could actually say, hey, next Tuesday specifically.
No, wait.
Tell
Okay,
them
so
to
if
actually make some calls to
if
locals.
he wins, he gets to be like featured, whatever, part of the event. If we win, then those people he has to get people to make calls, right? I feel like that makes sense, or no? Because what do we get if we win?
I don't know what's going on here. It's a win-win. Okay?
Actually, no. If
5
we
downloads.
We all win. We
if
all
we
win.
win, we got
We
free
wanna
floats.
all win.
How about that? If
Yeah,
we
of
win,
course.
then the 3 of us get a float for free.
Team
Does that
Owwll
work?
over
So like
here.
if you don't get
three-
the downloads.
3, what is it, 80-minute or 60-minute?
60 minutes our base.
So
typically float
if
between 60
you
and 90.
don't
so our-
get the
our
downloads,
team, our
then
producer,
the 3 of us will get a free
us
float.
2.
Does that work?
We get a free
I-
float if you don't get 5 downloads.
Kind of following. We'll have to draw up the black and
Yeah,
white.
yeah.
So
Okay,
5 downloads.
start
5
over. Start over.
Start
Okay,
over.
ready?
I
This
think
is
5 downloads is a good challenge for me to get, and that I've got some people in mind, staff or otherwise. I'm active in the local entrepreneur
Yeah,
community, and I've already thinking of some people that I think would benefit from it, and I do really like it. I mean,
Yeah.
you're putting that in my mouth a little bit when you say that, but I have taken a couple calls. I'm not a big networker. I don't love walking to a room. Like BNI scares me. Like I'm more behind the scenes. I'd send my staff to those kind of things, but I am very active in the entrepreneur and with other business owners and other people doing it. And this is and I come from the music industry, which is very cutthroat, and It's very nice to be in the float industry that's very supportive, and even local South Florida entrepreneur. This is a healthy way to engage in conversation and put yourself out there with some boundaries and not
Without having to be face to face. You
not
can be
trying
in
to
your
be-
pajamas and
Yeah.
go like
I don't mind face to face, but being sold stuff, and
True,
like
true,
I'm not going to say no. So people are like, oh, do you need all the cleaning supplies? I'm like, whatever.
sure.
There's all kinds of stuff, but having engaging conversations with other people who are also trying to make cool stuff happen, I love that.
And like I think it's the collaborations. We get so many people that together after little conversations end up collaborating from, another state, whatever. So that I think is one of the benefits. But so just to be clear, so the bet will be you have to get 5 downloads. And if you do that, then you will in some capacity be a part of our Tech Tuesday. And then if you do not get those 5 downloads, then we, the 3 of us, will get free float. 1 free float.
That
Does
sounds
that
fair.
work?
And it's got to be by
Okay.
Monday because Tech Tuesday is next Tuesday.
Yes.
Sounds good. It is a deal.
Handshakes.
Okay.
Lock it in.
Cool.
Okay. Well, Matt, thank you for joining us here on the Owwll Podcast. Everyone tuning in, we'll be back next Wednesday, right around 4 or 5 o'clock ish, with our next guest. And of course, reach out to Matt on the Owwll app. He will make himself available in the next 7 days and get your chance to chat with him one-on-one and build an opportunity, build a connection. Take care, everybody.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.